Now we're going.
Okay. Welcome back to the Odd Topic Podcast. This is episode number 81. Today, I'm in Sheboygan, Wisconsin at
Rockin' Wrestling.
Rockin' Wrestling. And my guest today is Jaden Mercer, a.k.a. the Spectre. Say hello to the people.
What's going on, people?
And my first question to you is, like, how long you been in the game?
About 5 years now.
Okay.
I started training. I was in the same class as Roy Cooper, Preston Palmer, Jimmy Ocean. I was in that class. So we started training in November of 2019, and then COVID, we were shut down for half of 2020.
Yeah.
And then we kicked things back into gear around that summertime, and then we had our first match. It was Wrestling Con 2021.
Dang.
So about 5 years. Technically 4 because I was out last year.
And like, who was like your mentor? Like, who helped train you?
So I was trained under the ACW Wisconsin Academy. So Hornswoggle, Nick Colucci, and then we had our student coaches, which were Salem Crane and Miles Mason.
Oh. And what was like the best advice they gave you? You'd say so far?
Just keep your mouth closed, keep your ears open. You're gonna learn a lot, and keep the close ones in your circle real tight.
I said that's pretty good advice. And you said that you had like a major injury, right?
Yep.
You said it was like your knee?
Yes.
I'd say?
I tore my ACL,
My God.
my meniscus, and then I had a sprain in my MCL.
Oh my God.
And that was April of last year.
Jeez. How long did it take for you to like recover from that? Did it like suck for a couple months?
So the doctor typically said it's anywhere from 9 to 14 months. I was cleared by month 6.
Wow. That's actually pretty fast.
Yeah. The surgery itself was a huge success. They said the meniscus tear wasn't as bad as they were expecting from what they saw with the MRI. The ACL was completely gone.
Oh my God.
Are you a Packers fan?
I'm a Lions fan,
Lions
actually.
fan? Hey, respect. As long as you're not a Vikings or a Bears fan, I'm cool with it. You know Micah Parsons' injury?
Yeah.
Exact same injury.
Really?
Exact same injury.
Oh my God.
He tore his meniscus and his ACL.
That's horrible.
So it was the exact same injury. Obviously, it was different than how he did it, but I went off the top rope. He just, made a cut and fell. Which,
Damn.
It sucks either way, but it is what it is.
That's horrible. So like, what is your like style of wrestling that you do?
I would like to say it's a lot of hard hitting, heavy striking, mixed with a little high flying.
Yeah.
I always like the high flying.
I kind of noticed that when I was watching a bit of like your clips. Like, you go off the top rope quite a bit.
Yeah.
It's kind of insane.
Yeah, that's the style I always grew to love. That's the stuff I did when I was, growing up with my siblings. We always wrestled too, and I was just gravitated towards guys like Rey Mysterio, Jeff Hardy, those kind of guys.
Would you say that kind of inspired your character? Or was it something else?
It didn't inspire my character. That pretty much just was strictly in ring. I wanted to be a lot like those guys. Character stuff, that I kind of took from a lot of different things. Like my inspirations with the Spectre character were Undertaker, The Fiend, Bray Wyatt, Malachi Black. Those kind of characters is what I took as far as from the wrestling side of it.
Yeah.
But I took a lot of like stuff that I like personally. So I love superheroes. So Venom is my favorite supervillain. So I took a lot of inspiration from him. The mask and the connection with it I took from the Green Goblin.
Ooh, okay.
From the original Spider-Man. And it's funny how it's like you watched the first movie and you're just like, it came out when I was 2-3 years old.
Same, yeah.
So it's like you don't know it then, but then it's like you go back and rewatch it and you're like, this is exactly what it was. And then I think it was, what's the newest one? Spider-Man No Way Home, where they brought all the guys back. That one spoke like perfectly to me. So I'm like, if you've ever watched Spider-Man No Way Home and you see the interaction with the Green Goblin, that's what the Spectre character is.
Yeah. I was kind of like getting that vibe, or like kind of like Finn Balor with the other.
Oh, the demon.
Yeah,
yep,
the demon.
That was the other one I forgot.
Yeah.
I was like, I know I'm forgetting one, but yeah, the demon was another big wrestling one that I took a lot of inspiration from.
And did you like design like the mask that you made?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So the fun fact that a lot of people don't know about me is I went to UW Stevens Point for college, and I got my degree in graphic design. So I designed all my tattoo sleeves, I designed all my merchandise, I designed my logo, my gear, the mask, all of that stuff is just all me.
Yeah, that is insane, man. And about your logo too, I thought it was kind of so crazy that ours is kind of similar.
Oh yeah,
because
it's crazy.
Yeah, mine was kind of like supposed to be like a hacker guy. I just got rid of the hacker face, put like some sunglasses on it to make it feel like more like me.
Yeah, I dig it. When I saw that, I was like, that's sick. But no, it's the original Spectre logo. You still see it on like, I think it's my tights and my jacket.
It's dope.
That one is, I did that in my free time. I think it was my senior year of college. Just whipped it together because that's when we were starting in class to learn about, okay, like let's figure out our characters and stuff like that. So I was just kind of like, just doodling on a free weekend.
That's insane.
Came up with that.
Is it kind of like a phantom character?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Like that was kind of the original vibe of the Spectre, and then it slowly became more, I don't even know how to describe, more heavy metal-esque.
Okay. Huh. Yeah, that's really sick.
More grungy, I guess.
And where did you get like the stuff to the design your gear? Was it like off of like a website, or I always wondered that.
Like as far as making the gear?
Yeah, making it.
So the person that made my gear was I watched your Salem Crane episode, Kim Killa.
Yeah.
Same person that did Brace. He was the one that was like, hey, go to this person. She's really, really good. It wasn't my original set, but it's the one I use now.
Dang.
It's a pretty penny, but I mean, it's definitely
worth it.
Oh yeah.
As long as it's like you feel good when you're doing it and you look good. That's all that matters.
My original stuff, my original gear set, I had done by Break Knight Creative. He's out of Minnesota and wrestles here and there, but now he does all just gear stuff.
Oh.
And came across him just doing Facebook searching and just going down the rabbit hole, especially like when you're just about to start.
Yeah.
And saw some of the designs. He did stuff for guys on like AEW and a couple other people in WWE, and so I was like, I'll reach out to him. Obviously, it took like 2 days to get back to me, but I was in no rush. I'm very, when it comes to like anything, I'm very schedule oriented.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, okay, I'll reach out to him like 2 months before I for sure need to get it done, and then from there it's like, okay, 2 days later, he responds back. Gives me a bunch of the info, gives me how much everything is, give or take.
Yeah.
Shoot me your ideas, so I send him all of my designs, and then the rest is his.
What is something you would ask your future self like 20 years down the line? Like, what kind of advice would you ask when you're all like done with wrestling?
First thing that really comes to my mind is, was it worth it? Was the grind, the blood, the sweat, the tears, friendships, the enemies, was it all worth it? And I think my future self would say yeah. Obviously, I have goals and long-term things that I want to do.
Yeah.
Just for the opportunity to either get an eye on you or to just do it for the love of the game.
Yeah.
And that's where it's just like you have to like constantly be reminding yourself like, hey, why'd you get into this in the first place? And I had that was a big question I asked myself when I was out with injury, because obviously you're stuck at home. You can't really go out unless you're willing to suck up a lot of pain. And it's just like, okay, you're constantly doing rehab. Like, I'm like thousands of dollars behind now. Was it worth it? And I still look back and I'm like,
always like a wrestling person?
Yeah.
I seen that you used to play football.
Yep. So I started watching wrestling when I was 4, and I got introduced to it from my older cousin.
Oh.
He's 2 years older, and my brother is also 2 years older. So his influence then trickled onto us.
Yeah.
And then my brother and I, every Friday, because we didn't get cable, so we couldn't watch Raw.
Yeah.
But we would watch Friday Night SmackDown every Friday. Sit there, and then during commercial breaks, let's go wrestle. And then as soon as you hear the show come back on, okay, stop, time out, let's go back, sit down. Because I'm 4, he's 6, so it's just like, it's a brother-sibling bond that we had.
I miss when it was on regular TV all the time.
Yeah.
I hate that it's not no more. You have to have like 4 different streaming services just
Yeah,
to watch
you gotta be made of money, and you gotta be very, very smart about how you spend your money now. But
Exactly.
yeah, no, like that was my introduction to wrestling, and then obviously the older I grew, it didn't take a backseat. Eventually, my brother fell out of it.
Yeah.
I mean, I still keep up to it with him here and there, but he started gravitating towards football and basketball around that middle school age because that's what typical people do. I always still stayed in that wrestling realm.
Yeah.
And then any time I was about to fall out of it, because there were so many times where I'm like, okay, it's not fun anymore. He's not even watching with me anymore. Then like the Nexus came around.
That was sick.
So that kept me around.
Yeah.
And then, I started to fall out of it then. CM Punk dropped a pipe bomb. Now I'm back. Oh, I'm about to fall out of it again. The Shield showed up. Back again. And then as I went to high school, then I kind of just put it on the back burner. Did a lot of just focusing on football, basketball, because I was so deep into that game. And then it wasn't until college where I took back up watching it again. Like, I think I was just scrolling through channels and I saw, Raw's on. So I just threw it on. And it didn't really hook me like it used to. But then, like, I was kind of reintroduced to everything again.
Yeah.
And then I found NXT Black and Gold. I don't know if you've ever seen any episodes of that.
I don't think so, no.
So they ran, it's obviously way different now, the NXT now versus back then, but like 2014 through like 2022, 23 was some of the best pro wrestling I think I've ever laid eyes on. You had guys like Kevin Owens when he first started, Sami Zayn when he first started, Drew McIntyre, Adam Cole with the Undisputed Era, Aleister Black, Ricochet, Keith Lee, Tommaso Ciampa, Johnny Gargano. Those were some of the best storylines in wrestling, point blank period. And they were putting on fantastic matches. If you ever get a chance, go watch an NXT TakeOver match and then come back and be like, dude, that was the coolest thing I've ever seen.
I'm definitely gonna look it up. But is there something that you're like chasing from this, you'd say? In your career?
Not anymore.
Not anymore? Why is that?
When I got into it, I knew what I was capable of.
Yeah.
And I was very much like, I want to get to that next level. And then I did. I went to a TNA. I was extra there, which was cool. It's a great experience.
That's actually wild.
It was a great experience. I tried with AEW and never got back to me. Never tried with WWE, but obviously it's like, know your worth, start small, work your way up. Yeah. But at least I got to do it with TNA. And then the big thing that really kind of changed my perspective on wrestling was the injury last year.
Yeah.
Because when I started, I made a promise to myself that if I got hurt or injured, like severely, it would start to be the winding down of the career, and that might be breaking news to people.
Wow.
So I'm not planning on being done anytime soon.
Yeah.
But I'm not trying nearly to get to a certain level now. Now this is just for the love of the game and to leave the game better than when I came in.
And you don't want to be hurt when you're done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That my big fear now is getting hurt again.
Yeah.
Injured, but I don't want to go through that again.
Do you like take more precautions with your legs now?
Yeah.
Like ice it and like
icing, stretching, being very cognizant of, okay, am I in pain? Do I just need to stretch? Do I need to just do something? Like today, this is an experiment. I've never done this before.
Yeah, I heard like that tape actually works really well.
Yeah, and like I did it with my shoulder.
Yeah.
A couple of years ago, I messed up my shoulder, and it worked then. I never had to go to a doctor or anything like that.
Yeah.
But when I returned at Wrestling Con, like I wore a compression sleeve, and then when I was selling on the outside, I was out there kind of like shaking it off, and then I'm like, okay, I can feel it again. We're good. But I think it was just because it was compressed so tight. So I'm like, we'll experiment today. We'll try not doing something so tight, and we'll just kind of see how that goes. But yeah, definitely got to take a lot more precautions now than I had to in the past.
I believe it. Like that's really scary to deal with. Is there? What would you say is the difference from like chemistry and like authenticity, like in the ring?
The difference between chemistry and authenticity is the fans tell you. Chemistry can be like, let's say if I was wrestling you, some people can get into a ring and they can be on the exact same page from the moment you lock them.
Yeah.
And sometimes you don't even know it because sometimes you don't even know the person you're wrestling. Authenticity is what the crowd will tell you. If you come out and you're playing a character and they're not buying it, are you really being authentically you.
That's true, yeah.
And I mean, I know it because I experienced it with the Spectre. When I first started, nobody knew how to read it. I was still trying to figure it out. I was 22.
Yeah.
23. I know, it was 22 years old. So I was still like trying to figure out who I was. Like I had like the idea and the vision.
Yeah.
But like, I'm like, okay, how do I execute it? And then over time, like, once I changed the mask, because the original mask was $20 on Amazon, and I painted it. Because you got to start somewhere.
You do. That's actually dope.
The vision and the story never changed. It was just the appearance. And then once I found, I don't know if he still makes masks anymore, but like the other mask that I had, it was the one with like, it almost looked like a Slipknot mask.
Oh, okay.
A guy out in Italy made it. His Facebook page was Cancer Masks. I don't know if he, because when I first was out with injury, I reached out to him, but I never got anything back. So I was like, I don't know one, if he's live. I don't know if he just fell off the face of the earth.
Good, a lot of people do.
Yeah, so I was just like, I don't know, but no, he was the one that made the actual mask that people really fell in love with. And I mean, it was cool, but like at the same time, it's just like, I had to figure out like, okay, how do I make it more for me?
Yeah.
And I think that's when people started to really come around, is they started to see like how I act in the ring versus just me just so locked in,
Yeah.
try and play a character that I'm still trying to figure out. But when I kind of just was like, dude, just be yourself. Obviously, be like, still have like those characteristics of like what you think the Spectre is.
Yeah.
But then just kind of have some fun with it, and that's where once I figured that out, then it was all guns blazing.
Character's mostly like a heel, right? I'd say.
It technically is a heel character.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
But people were so captivated by it,
Yeah.
and they fell in love with it, which then turned it into almost like this tweener character.
The Undertaker is
Yeah,
like what you're saying.
it's technically a heel character, but
Yeah.
people love it so much you can't
Exactly.
ever just be like, no, screw the Undertaker. So it's just like, then it turned into that, and then now it's this form of the Spectre, which is pretty much just who I am, but still a couple of those characteristics still hanging around.
Yeah. And like going back to like the outfit, you have like the jacket, the hood, and like the mask. And I see. Do you still wear the face paint too?
Ever since I got injured, I decided. So let's actually just like circle back. Well, the original character of the Spectre it was my real life story.
Yeah.
With just a movie twist to it. So
Okay.
it's like, I grew up a middle child, and I don't know if you have siblings or whatever the case, but like, the middle child is typically the one that's always like forgotten about.
Yeah.
Not really a black sheep, but just like, the parents are usually focused on the oldest one causing havoc, or the youngest one, and the middle one's just kind of like left in the middle.
Yeah, I know.
So it was just kind of like that feeling of, like, they have eyes on you, but they're not worried about you. And I was just like, when I was young, that always made me mad. I was just like, I just want somebody to pay attention to me.
Yeah.
And so the older I got, I mean, the easier it got. But I was just like, just think back to that, like that moment, just being like, put your eyes on me.
Exactly.
And then the way I interpreted football and basketball into it was, I had a guy who went D1 on my football team, and I was just kind of like, I was good, but like I wasn't great, and like that always stuck with me. Same with basketball, I was very much a bench player, and so I loved it. I love it, and I think I'm all right, but I was never that good.
It takes a toll on your brain a lot.
Yeah,
like,
and so
mentally.
just like that mental of like, somebody please just lay eyes on me.
Exactly.
And then once I went to training at ACW, I wouldn't say really, really good in the ring, but like I caught on to things quickly.
Yeah.
And I was just like, okay, there's something here. And then I was like, once they were like, okay, what characters do you want to play? I was originally going to play like this dark cowboy, kind of like what Wyatt Boone is now. But because the other backstories, I grew up on a farm. My discipline and just my way of life is way different than a lot of these people. And my philosophy and stuff like that is like, you know, it doesn't matter if it's sunny, rainy, it doesn't matter if your feelings are hurt or not. The stuff needs to get done.
Fast.
So that was my philosophy with the character, it's my way of life. And so I was like, okay, I wanted to play this Dark Hellboy, and they shot it down. I was like, okay. So then I'm just like, what else do I do? My other option was kind of a reincarnation of the Heath Ledger's Joker from the Batman.
Oh, okay.
From the Dark Knight.
Yeah.
And so that was my second option. And they shot that down too. They're like, there's not enough there. And I went, okay. So then, of course, me being the creative, whatever you want, and I'm shooting ideas to Salem Crane because he's very much the same brain as me.
Yeah. Always thinking.
Yep.
Always.
And just like, how can I come up with something? And then he's just like, literally just like, take a look at like who you are, take a look at the things you like, and just mix them all into one.
Yeah.
Just have this big bowl of everything. And so it's like everything I just said before with the growing up, and then obviously watching the Green Goblin, being a fan of Venom, all of these things. And then I was big for music-wise. In the gym, I would always listen to Slipknot, and then growing up, I was a huge Hollywood Undead fan. And I don't know if you've ever listened to Hollywood Undead, or if you even just go back and look at like their old stuff.
Yeah.
They always have like a cool mask, and each mask is different.
Yeah.
And I thought, I love masks. That would be cool. What would it look like? And then that's where I came up
Snowball.
with it. Yep.
Yeah.
And then now your brain is constantly turning like, okay, I can do this. Yeah. I could look like this. I could do this. And it all just ended up becoming, I'm like, okay, I got this idea, what do I call it? And it was going to be the Ghost, it was going to be this, and then I was just looking up, I literally Googled synonyms for Ghost, or one that's forgotten. Spectre was one of them.
Oh, okay.
And it's funny now, because there's two different spellings for Spectre. There's S-B-E-C-T-E-R, and there's R-E. I thought it would be cool just to do R-E. Turns out that's like the Europe spelling of it. So I was just like, in case anybody's just like, why is it spelled that way? I could use some like Italy backstory or just anything over there, but obviously that nobody cares about that. I'm full United States, but I'm like, in case, I was just like, yeah, let's make it different. We'll do that one. But like that was the original character of the Spectre, and like the mask was the key to it. But it's so hard to portray that to a wrestling audience, especially when you're so young and just getting into it. Yeah. You have people that start like day one, they'll come out, and there's a few outliers, like Sheboygan is an outlier because of, I mean, you look at the guy.
Oh my god.
And then like Preston Palmer, when he first started, he instantly connected with the crowd. But like some of us don't. And especially with a character so deep like mine, it was very hard to connect with the crowd. Because they're looking at you, and they see me with the hood, this mask, they're like, who is this guy? What is your story?
Why does he matter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I quickly just, after talking to a bunch of my coaches and stuff like that, they're like, post on socials. Get your story out there without telling them exactly what it is that you want. And so you go back to like my oldest promos in my video packages, and it's just like, I made them so particular and specific to have fans try to like find Easter eggs. There are many Easter eggs out there that like tell you the story without specifically flat out telling you the story. Yeah. And I always find fun in that because it's just like now it gives people a reason to like head hunt. To be like, what am I looking for? What is he showing me that I'm not seeing? Yeah. I always find like cool things like that.
Actually pretty dope.
And then as the years progressed from starting, I obviously changed the look, I changed the mask. Same exact character, but just making it more authentic, more like me. And then that's where I started experimenting with face paint. Oh. Because I went to, it was OFE, One Fall Entertainment. They kind of run around this Sheboygan area, at least they did when I was young. Mm-hmm. And there's a guy, he goes by Skits. He lives in Florida now, but he originally lived in Blue Bay. Yeah. And his character was this, have you ever seen Split?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It was kind of like that, and he has like this face paint, and it's like, he literally has it like drawn out where he's split into these different personalities, and like when he does his promos, like there's the dark side of him where he talks in like this Batman voice, and then he immediately turns it on to, oh yeah, we could do that. And I was just like, that's unique.
Whoa.
And the booker at the time was just like, I want to pair you with him. And so like we did a match and it was really, really good. And the finish after the match was he attacked me, took my soul, and carried me off. And then the next time they saw me, I had this face paint on. I had all these different things. It was really, really cool. And so that was the introduction of the face paint. And then I was like, okay, there's something here. How do I follow up with that, especially when he's not around? And that's where I started taking it to ACW. And that's where, as soon as they saw me with face paint, they're like, I think I get it now.
Yeah.
And I'm constantly staring at the mask, acting like it's talking to me. And they're like, I get it, but he's possessed by this demon.
Yeah.
But in reality, the demon was just my darker conscience that was talking to me. So like, I always thought of like the angel and the devil on the shoulders. So I was just like, I'm so fixated on this devil, and now it's possessing me. And then when I had my program with Salem Crane back in 2023, we were getting there because we had our match at anniversary. It was December of 23, and he stopped and broke the mask, and I gave him clearance to do it because I had a back.
Oh, I was gonna say like.
Yeah, no, I gave him full like, yeah, let's do it. And then him breaking the mask was like, think of Undertaker's urn.
Yeah.
Think of like that getting broke. What happens? And I was like, that's where the demon can start to like show face, because that was like the big payoff was going to be me versus Salem at WrestlingCon that year, with me revealing myself as the demon, kind of like Finn Balor, very much like Finn Balor. And I had like this whole Spectre demon thing that I was experimenting with on different shows prior to, and it was really, really cool. But then we just kept putting on banger after banger after banger that the fans really didn't give us a choice. And with WrestlingCon, celebrities are coming.
So many
And
eyes on you,
somebody needs to wrestle the celebrities. And the nod was to us that year because we were putting on some of the best work of our careers. So I got to wrestle Jay Lethal, and he got to wrestle Dolph.
Oh.
So it was very, very cool. I was very, very happy with all of that. And the match with Lethal was, he was so nice. You think of a guy who's world champion on television for 20 years, and he's so willing to be like, I'll work with you. Yeah. What do you want to do? What are you good at? What are you not good at? And then just watching him piece matches together. And then me being able to be like, I love it. Can you tweak it a little bit? I think I have this vision in my head of like what I want to do to eventually get there.
I like that they work with you.
Yeah, no, that's all wrestling is behind the scenes. Everybody's working with each other.
Yeah.
So it's very, very cool.
You guys are fine. Because I noticed like a lot of like wrestlers have ego problems.
Yeah, some of them do.
All of them, but
yeah, that's just it's part of the business. You're gonna get a lot of different people in, a lot of different backstories, a lot of different ways they were grown up, a lot of different things that people want out of this business. For years, I was never the ego guy. I was very much show up to work. I have my 2 cents that I want to give in. You guys can go ahead. Sorry. Okay, thank you. I always thought of like, I've never been a huge ego guy. I always wanted to just be like, show up to work, figuring out what I'm doing. If I don't like it, at least say something.
Yeah.
But then at the end of the day, this is what you want? Okay, I'll do it. Now that I'm off of my injury and stuff like that, I feel like I'm kind of tired of doing that. It's not that I have an ego, it's I know what I'm capable of, I know what I'm worth, and if I feel like I'm being utilized unfairly, I'm going to speak up and now actually say no. That was always my biggest thing growing up, is I had a hard time saying no.
Yeah, like passive, you say? Yeah.
But now, I'm very much like, I'm not doing that.
Sometimes you have to be like that. You have to stand up for yourself.
You gotta stand up, and that was...
You have to.
Because when you're on, like I said, when I grew up on a farm, you're so ingrained to not say no. Like, oh, this has to get done. Yeah. This has to get done. So it was very challenging for me for the longest time. But now I'm very much like, know when to say no. And I'm very happy that I'm like finally standing my ground a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's cool.
Is there a place you want to see your character be at? Is there like a long-term goal for that?
The long-term goal is seeing it on television, I think, as far as the Spectre character. But now, this new iteration of who I am, I think that's all I really want to care about is this new Spectre. It's all those same things, but not being shown now. Now this is really just Jayden. It's really who I am, and there's still the Spectre. I'm still forever going to be the Spectre. But now I don't need a mask. I don't need face paint. I don't need that to portray that. I'm just a stone cold killer that will go out and do whatever I got to do.
That's good. About going back to like the face paint, has it ever like seeped into your eyes while you're like in a match?
Not in a match.
Yeah.
When I was either putting it on or taking it off.
Yeah, taking it off sucks.
Yeah.
Like horrible.
When was your first show for ACW?
I would say. I think it was in the Beckett's, like the Beckett Center.
Okay, so this was while I was out.
Yeah.
I did the Demon reveal the year prior when I wrestled Miles Mason in the tables, ladders, and chairs match. That was the reveal of the Demon.
Yeah.
So I came out with the full like Finn Balor look.
Yeah.
And I had like the crown of thorns, and it was like really, really cool.
Oh, that's nuts.
But taking that off took me, I want to say 40 minutes. Just constant makeup wipes, constantly water, trying to scrub all that paint off. It was a nightmare.
Like soap in your eyes and crap.
Yep.
I remember when I was little, my mom took me to like this event, and I got like Spider-Man face paint.
Oh, yep.
And trying to take it off was a nightmare. I got soap in my eyes. It was horrible, man.
Yeah, I've had that happen.
Yeah.
And it's funny because like the original paint I was using was like watercolor.
Yeah.
And so of course I sweat very, very easily.
Yeah.
Like right now I'm sweating even in the shade.
It's
and I'm
crazy.
just like, all of a sudden like I could feel it like watering down, and I'm just like, no, don't touch your face, otherwise it's gonna get in your eyes.
But yeah, it's like the little things you don't notice
Yeah.
when you do it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of like, if you're really looking for them, you'll find them, but if you're not, you're just like, you don't know what's going on.
What would you say is like the most brutal moment like in a match that you had? So I seen you had like a steel cage match with Nick Colucci before.
Oh, that was a War Games match.
Really?
Down in Waukesha. It was me, Salem Crane, Sean Priest,
Yeah.
and Jack Sirius versus Nick Colucci, Kevon, Swoggle, and
Oh my god.
I forget who the other guy that was in there. But either way, yeah, that was not a steel cage. That was a War Games.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, a lot of that wasn't bad. But I think the worst part was there was a barbed wire bat that was in the corner.
Yeah.
And I didn't get hit with it. I strictly said, I was like, no glass, no fire, no thumbtacks. Those were like my big, and no barbed wire. Like, I don't want to get hit with anything like that.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I have a very nice job for a shoot job. I don't want to get marked up and going into work looking like I just,
Look like you just got hit by a car.
yeah. So I was like, okay, I'll do anything else except those. And I took a big power bomb from Kevon and I rolled off to the side so that he could do the next sequence.
Yeah.
And as I'm rolling, the barbed wire bat's in the corner, and I'm rolling to that corner, but I don't know where it is. And I keep rolling, and I feel the barbed wire, and I go, ow!
Oh my god.
Something so silly like that, those silly things is what hurt the most. And it's like, you hear it all the time of like, the silly things is how people get injured. Very much my knee. I didn't get injured during the match with my ACL. I got injured during my entrance.
Really?
So you know, when I came back and I went to the top rope and I went like this,
Yeah.
I would always just hop off the top rope. That's how I tore my ACL. I hopped off the top rope and my knee buckled.
My
And I'm
God.
sitting there, and I was like, pardon my language, but I literally was like holding it because I was Water City champ at the time, so I'm holding the title too. I'm like, motherfucker. And I walk it off, and
Yeah.
I'm holding up the title. Miles Mason, who I was wrestling, has like deer in the headlight eyes. The ref immediately comes over, are you okay? I'm like, no, I'm not okay. They're like, are you going to wrestle? I'm like, yeah. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? Throw up the X and just be like, I'm done?
Yeah.
And so he's like, all right, rings the bell, and we go for the lockup, and here's behind the fourth wall, lockup, he's like, dude, are you okay? And I immediately said, if I fall, we're done. And I never fell. We got through the match, which it was not every match is made equally.
Yeah.
It was a pretty easy match, so we got through it.
Yeah.
But as soon as I got to the back of the curtain, I immediately collapsed. I was like, I just messed up my knee.
Do you think you made it worse by continuing the match or no?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think it was completely torn that moment, so it's just like, what am I gonna do and make it like, what's the worst that's gonna happen, kind of thing.
Did you like stretch before that match?
Yeah. I stretched before every single match.
Okay.
It was just one of those happenstance moments where something just went wrong.
It happens to a lot of football players too. I think a couple years back it was like Ziggy Ansah. He did like a celebration. Yeah, he tore his ACL.
Yeah, very much the same way. It's just like you don't think about it until it actually happens.
Yeah.
So you're just like, it was so funny telling the story to the doctor, to the surgeon, to anybody that asked. They're like, "You got injured during the match?" I said, No, I got injured during my entrance. And I'm sitting there just like, Jesus, that sounds so stupid, but you're just like,
it happens to anybody.
It literally can happen to anybody.
Yeah.
Like I heard, maybe not that long ago, somebody, while I was out, this was a couple months ago, they rolled their ankle before the match started. So like, they did their entrance, everything was fine. The bell rings, about to like charge him for something, and he rolled his ankle running. You know, it's like you don't think about those things, but like they just happen.
Happens. Yeah. Man, that's horrible. But God.
Yeah, no, it's a dangerous sport.
It is.
But I mean, it's like you think about it, you could be walking and take a wrong step and blow your knee out, or roll your ankle, or just fall, break a collarbone. Like these things can happen at any point. So it's just you never know what to expect.
Yeah. And have you ever thought about life after wrestling?
Yeah, I have a lot. I definitely want a family, and once I'm at that point and done with wrestling, I want to just live a normal life.
Yeah.
I do want to pursue kind of like what you're doing, not with Odd Topic and like actually interviewing people, but like I love talking about wrestling. I really, really do, and it's something that I know because I've experienced it, I've done it, and being able to like watch what happens on WWE, AEW, and be like, it's like you see stuff on Twitter of like people like, oh, this sucked, or oh,
complaining,
this is, yep. And it's like, is there a reason to complain? Sometimes, yeah, but then it's like you got to look at like the bigger picture, and that's what I kind of want to do. And I just started up my YouTube channel to do that, because now I have what I call the Spectre podcast, where I go on and I talk about like what happens on television and kind of like the big key points, but I talk about them from like the eyes of the wrestler. Yeah. Of like, okay, this is cool. That match was super cool. This is why it was super cool. This one wasn't. This is why it wasn't. This seemed a little off.
Yeah, I like when wrestlers do that.
Yeah, so that's what I've been pursuing outside of wrestling. Yeah. And obviously, I just needed something to do when I was out with my injury, because it's like, okay, 9 to 12 months. Well, you got to keep yourself occupied.
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
Just constantly linger in pain or prep for the return, which I did, obviously. But I was like, I need something else to keep me occupied. And shout out to my girlfriend for always, sticking by my side throughout that process. But yeah, I want to be a YouTuber. And so, if you guys could, go subscribe to Jaris Spectre on YouTube. It's Jarispectre. It's my real name and my Spectre mixed together. And so, that's kind of what I just started the process of. I'm only at like 75 subscribers, so it's, it's nothing crazy, but, you got to start somewhere.
Yeah, you do.
And, I want to just enjoy the process. I've tried YouTube channels.
It's hard.
Since high school. And each time, like, when I first started, my friends found it and they bullied me. And so I stopped. And I tried it in college. Didn't have enough time, so I stopped. And, now that I'm old enough that, like, at this point, I don't really care about what other people perceive me as. I know who I am.
That's how it should be.
Yep. Yeah. And so I very much am, like, more confident now than ever to actually do it. Yeah. And I'm very, very happy that I at least started the process, and now I can learn and grow. Very much with wrestling, learn, grow, adapt, change things if I need to. But no, my setup is super sick, and really just kind of figuring all that out. Yeah. Figuring out life after wrestling while I'm still wrestling. It's really cool. But no, I definitely want a family. My girlfriend moves in with me, next month already.
Okay.
And so
That's sick.
I think she's the one. Which shout out to her. She'll watch this, but no,
awesome.
it's really really cool that
That's
and like you never think of a silly injury like this to really change everything around. And even when I was out, like I had to take like a really deep dive at like kind of really just life in general, because like you take your ability away of walking, which I thank God that I have the job that I can still work from home, so I'm still making money.
Yeah.
But obviously the injury set me back. I'm still feeling it now, physically and financially. But like I always, I kept praying to God and just figuring out what does all this mean in the long-term scheme of things.
Yeah.
Figuring out what everything means in the long-term scheme of things, and I realized that when I started wrestling, because I was a sophomore in college, I was tearing up basements left and right. I was a party animal, and so I gained a lot of weight. Being an athlete in high school, like I was in the best shape of my life, and then I went to college, and it's like you hear the freshman 15. It's a real thing. It's a very real. I gained like 40 pounds.
Golly, bro.
And so when I started wrestling, I was this fat, chubby guy, and I knew how to get back into shape, and I just had to really like dial in.
Yeah.
But like, I looked at myself in the mirror before my first day of training, and I was like, I hate my life. I hate it. I was like, I love the partying, I love the people I'm around.
Yeah.
But like, I'm just like,
This ain't it.
I'm like something like my purpose is missing.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to keep living like that. So that's when my roommate at the time showed me ACW, because he's like, I know you're a huge wrestling fan. You always said that you wanted to try wrestling. There's a school in Oshkosh if you want to go there and try it.
Yeah.
And I took the gamble. I went, and it was, the rest is history. But like I said, I hated my life back then. And then even being out with injury, I looked, and I was like, I have my girlfriend, I have my family, I have a house over my head, I have food in the fridge.
You gotta look at the little things.
Yep. And I was like, I love my life now.
Yeah.
And it was, and I'm like, even that was even just being out of wrestling. And there's a point in time too where I was just like, do I even want to go back to wrestling?
Oh.
Because I was like, I'm
Just at
enjoying.
peace,
I'm finally at peace.
Yeah.
But then I was just like, I really, really thought, and I'm like, my story has yet to be finished. I want to finish it, kind of like football. We went up in, this is my senior year of high school. It's the first conference game of the season. We went up against, so I went to Kiel High School, which is maybe about 20 minutes east, or not east, west, that way. And we played against a team in Valens, which is like northeast. They had a guy on their team. His name is Luke Genke. He is now the right tackle for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He was their tight end. And I went to tackle him when he was running a slant route.
Yeah.
And keep in mind, he's 6'7", 280 pounds. And I tackled him at the legs.
Yeah,
He came down right on top of me, and I shattered this ankle. And I have 7 screws and a plate in that ankle, which is always a funny story I love telling.
Yeah.
But you think of all these things. Oh, the show must be starting. But it's like you think of all these things, and you're just like, I wouldn't have been, because it was my senior year. They said I was done for the season.
Yeah.
We made it so far in the playoffs. I got to play one more game, and
That's good.
And that was my folding of the book on that chapter of life. That I at least was able to come back for one more snap. That was my goal.
Yeah.
And then now with this injury, I was like, I can't let the last vision of everybody seeing me crying my eyes out in that ring, announcing that I blew my knee out, I'm going to be out for a long time. I don't know if I'm ever going to come back. I can't let that be the last image of me. That's why I'm back. I'm back to write my own story, finish it on my own terms.
Yeah.
And obviously I want the World Heavyweight Championship here at ACW. That's the only reasons I'm back.
You feel like you're in your prime right now, coming back from this injury?
Yeah, I feel like I was finally hitting my prime.
Yeah.
And then my injury happened, and now it's, okay, I'm back. Am I still exactly where I'm at? Can it go higher?
Yeah.
Or is this it? And then eventually is the slope, which either way, I'm all right with.
Yeah.
But as long as I can at least mentally and physically feel like I'm still there, that's all that matters.
Yeah. And I feel like a lot of things do happen for a reason.
Yeah.
A lot of people say that, but I feel like it's true.
Yeah.
If this didn't happen, you probably couldn't have, like, you didn't see what things you needed to work on.
Yeah.
And help elevate yourself.
Absolutely. And it's just like, as far as like the real life aspect, like I said, you know, I met my girlfriend before I got injured.
Yeah.
But being out with injury,
Spend more time,
really get to be involved,
Yeah.
and really just like not feel so handcuffed in a sense, but like, hey, you want to go out? Let's go do this.
Yeah.
Or hey, you know what? My knee's feeling a little bit. You want to just hang out for the weekend and just, you know, relax? Yeah. And I mean, we've been together a year and a half now, and you know, it's looking like eventually it's going to be the ring on the finger, but
only time will tell.
right. But no, I feel like everything was God's sign of like telling me, you're going to be all right. I did this for a reason. Just let me work my magic and just come along for the ride.
That's really great story. And when you were like playing football, right? You tackled him, and I believe you said before that your foot or your cleat got stuck in the ground.
So it was like I planted like this.
Yeah.
And I went like this, and all of his 6'7", 280 pounds came on top of me. So you can already imagine just by physics that if I'm going this way and he's coming this way, you can kind of already see where this is going.
Yeah, you're supposed to, like, when you tackle, you're supposed to chop your feet. A lot of people don't know that.
Yep.
When you play, but that's how you get the momentum to tackle somebody. You have to, like, physically put all. You have to, like, try to stop them.
Yeah, very much. That was my mindset, and kind of like how it is with wrestling. Is exactly how I think of it with football.
Yeah.
Where it's just like a lot of those things intertwined together, like footwork, basketball too, with like pivoting and foot placements, and like, hey, if I'm gonna walk into a move, make sure you have the right step to get there. So all of like that, my prior sports experience really helped me with wrestling.
That's good. That's really good. What would you say is like your advice to the world? I always ask every guest.
My advice to the world: treat others the way you want to be treated.
Okay.
Always keep an open perspective. Never judge a book by its cover.
Okay.
And at the end of the day, just show love. I know it's such a cliche thing to say, but it's just like,
It's not enough.
you can look around and like walk up to people, and like even fans too, where it's just like, you know, if I'm having a bad day, but somebody is taking the time out of their day to be like, I'm rooting for you, I like you.
Yeah.
You know,
young man.
It's gonna be like, yeah, you know what? Thanks. It's cool too.
Are you okay?
So
That's why that motherfucker should not be here.
But
You should be on that stoop. So that's,
what was I going with that? But
excuse me.
Yeah.
Is that alcohol?
No.
super energy drink though.
Okay.
Where do you think we could see you next for your couple of your matches?
So the next time you can see me would be Tanner's tomorrow in Kimberly for ACW. Otherwise, you can see me at the Masonic Center. What is it, August 6th or 5th, 7th?
Yeah.
For the ACW Rumble. But other than that, any ACW show, chances are I'm going to be on it.
And is there anything else you'd like to add?
Brand new one.
Summon the Spectre.
Well, thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you guys in the next one.